Hi, my name's Matthew Quilliam and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, then please don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. Now, this video is going to be a little bit different to the videos I normally put out, because this video is going to be a few minutes of me as a university student studying music whose first instrument is the ukulele. Just talking about my experience and what potential obstacles that a ukulele player, a first study ukulele player, might encounter whilst at university, and what career options they may consider whilst studying. I'm making this video for several reasons. Firstly, I do actually get a lot of comments asked about my studies and how does studying ukulele at university work. And so this video is for lots of people who've been asking about that and may want to learn more about my experience. Also, this could also be a little inspiration and some food for thought for anyone who is a first study ukulele player looking into going into studying uke at university or higher education. There aren't too many of us around, at least not at the time of making this video, and so I'm really hoping to encourage as many first study ukulele players as possible to pursue it as their main instrument into further education. Also, it kind of acts as a little bit of an insight for anybody else who's just curious and wants to know more. So it's a little bit of a niche topic, this video, but I hope you enjoy it nevertheless. There aren't that many of us who've done or are doing degrees on the ukulele. Samantha Muir is doing a PhD on the ukulele, and I know Mika Kane in Hawaii has just graduated, and Andy Eastwood got through from the University of Oxford as well, although he does play other instruments such as violin and keyboard as well. So at the moment I'm on a music teaching course at a university on the south coast of England, UK, and I'm doing a Bachelor of Music, a 4-year degree course, and this is an undergraduate course. And when I was in sixth form, I was told quite categorically by both teachers that I would not succeed doing ukulele in music, and tried to persuade me to do another subject at university. I also had other teachers telling me that I should learn other instruments, and actually the reason I play bass guitar is because at the time when I was in school, my teacher recommended it to me as it was a more acceptable instrument to be playing at university. Now, if I was aiming to go somewhere more prestigious and classically inclined, such as Oxford or Cambridge, then I can kind of see that argument. I did actually have the opportunity to go round a few of their open days, and the only scholarships were available to violinists and organists. That's fine, nothing wrong with that. But I very much doubt that my ukulele would have fitted in there. Whereas I go to a slightly more, shall we say, open-minded university, where there is a lot more acceptance for diverse instruments. I looked at places like Royal Holloway, and on my open day the head of music was willing to give me a ukulele scholarship on the spot, which was amazing. He hadn't even heard me play and he was already super enthusiastic. That was really nice to see as well. And my current chosen university were really excited about the idea as well, and they got in a uke specialist teacher especially for me, which was really nice. When I auditioned at the university, I was told quite categorically that there was a ukulele club and ukulele scene in the area. I had seen photographs and been told all about these supposed ukulele orchestras, but they were nowhere to be seen. When I turned up, we had a little meeting, all of the freshers in a little room, about all the different ensembles that there were available to play in, and not a single one featured the ukulele. There were no ukulele bands or anything, and no other opportunities for sort of many other instruments other than these sort of more traditional things, ranging from the classical orchestras to the jazz bands to the rock bands, and singers and things as well. Sadly, this didn't fit in. So this is where one of the main points that I've taken away from university comes from. You have to make your own opportunity. Because there wasn't that much for the ukulele to fit in, I kind of have to adapt my playing. I play banjolele. If you are able to play banjolele, then do, because that will get you into some jazz bands. I play in a traditional Dixieland jazz band on the banjolele, and next year I'm hopefully moving into the university's sort of jazz orchestra on banjo and banjolele, so that's really exciting as well. I did manage to find a folk scene in which the ukulele fits in quite well, and I do actually play in a couple of pop groups as well at the university, just for a bit of fun. I also managed to go to some jazz workshops after studying a few jazz bits and pieces of harmony for a few weeks. I was able to start jamming with some jazz artists. So while I'm not playing ukulele in an official ensemble capacity, we have these regular jam nights at the university which I am able to attend thanks to some jazz knowledge that I had to go and look up myself. I mentioned earlier that I play bass as well, and that has gotten me a lot of places as well. I actually play the bass uke, the U-bass, in a lot of ensembles. I most recently played it with the Sid Lawrence Orchestra, which is an amazing, absolutely amazing experience that I'll never forget. And I also play in several other jazz bands and another big orchestra as well. If I want to play in a classical standpoint, there isn't really too much classical ensemble music. However, I am hoping to learn Andy Eastwood's Spacescape, which is a piece for solo ukulele and a string quartet. I'm hoping to do a version of that, maybe even for my dissertation, so that's going to be exciting as well. But in order to make any of these opportunities happen, I had to have the initiative to go and find the music or find the resources and learn about how to play all these different styles stylistically and make sure that I could do them on the ukulele. Both keeping true to the uke itself, but also making my playing adaptable to fit in with the other instrumentalists as well. So if you're looking to play with others, then you've got to really be open-minded and try and fit in where you can. There aren't really that many ukulele posts or chairs, desks open in many ensembles, so you kind of have to make those opportunities yourself. In terms of the sort of learning and lecture, well, I mentioned I'm on a teaching course where 50% of the modules are about teaching and the other 50% are about performance. The performance is split up between ensemble, which I just discussed, and solo. I personally prefer to sort of research and learn about all the current contemporary composers who are composing today. And I've been playing music by people like Giovanni Albini, Samantha Muir, Choan Galvez, a few of my pieces as well, and I'm still constantly exploring new music with the hopes of looking at some Donald Bostard music and some by Loretta as well, so I'm really looking forward to doing all that. I'm still 2 years away from my dissertation, but I'm thinking of doing perhaps a sort of history of ukulele playing. So starting off with some Hawaiian names. So looking at some traditional ukulele sort of folk, as well as looking at some sort of more jazz players like Lyle Ritz and Otto San. And then moving into the sort of banjolele George Formby type kind of music, and then coming up right to the modern day to do a bit of Jake Shimabukuro, and then mostly focusing on this original uke music. I think that would be a really nice idea for a dissertation. Because the ukulele is so unknown still to a lot of professors, a lot of the sort of feedback I get is mainly just, oh, I didn't know that you could do that technique on the ukulele, or oh yeah, you can prove that the ukulele can work. And I guess that's still where it's at. With any other people sort of playing more common instruments, that feedback wouldn't be there because they're already proven instruments, and so the feedback is, I guess, a bit more constructive and precise, whereas I'm still making an initial impression on my particular set of university professors. So I think the dissertation of doing a sort of history which showcases all the different original ukulele styles will be something that I think would get me a lot of marks and I would really enjoy researching. From the teaching standpoint, well, it's all kind of the same, really. We'd look into sort of things like child psychology and putting yourself in the shoes of learners and things, so that doesn't really apply so much to the ukulele. We also have some theory and history. Again, that's not really ukulele specific. We don't really have any instrument specific lectures or modules. Because I'm at a conservatoire, most of the focus is all about the getting you into the industry as a teacher and a performer. So with this particular course and this particular learning route, you can kind of do any instrument really at a conservatoire. I'm not sure how you might get on doing a sort of regular Bachelor of Arts degree at a university that's more focused on history and stuff like that. That said though, I think music history is so fascinating as well, and I do a lot of music history modules. That's another thing I found with playing the ukulele, especially in today's day and age where it's still very much quite a niche thing. I find that there's a little bit of a gap between sort of common music understanding and the ukulele. That's another thing actually that I would recommend any prospective uke player look into, doing your history modules and your theory modules. Ukulele, to be taken seriously and to have theory taught about it and music history taught to players, is still a relatively modern thinking, still in only just the last few years. And so I'd really recommend, if you want to fit in, doing some research. Whatever your interest is and whatever you're looking to play, whether it's jazz history or classical history, just make sure that you get up to speed so that you can sort of fit in with everyone else and have some more common musical conversations with people. I find theory very interesting anyway, but a big reason why I'm so interested in it is because it allows so many musicians to play together using all these great concepts that you just wouldn't understand if you didn't study the theory. And that especially applies to the uke. Theoretical teaching is kind of lacking at the moment. It's getting there, but it's still lacking a bit. And so if you're not up to scratch on your theory and your history, go to those classes. You'll fit in a lot better, you'll have lots more conversations, you'll get lots more opportunities, and you'll make more friends. What's the downside in that? My aim is therefore to be a diverse musician, almost like a sort of session musician. I have a soloist act, which is my sort of musical comedy thing, and I do lots of instrumental work as well, either sort of again as a soloist or more of a background thing. And I'm also looking into being a session ukulele player, so if a ukulele is needed for a recording somewhere or in a live band, well, I'm already signed up for a few agencies and I've got a few contacts and even people at the university who need a ukulele for one number. They know instantly who to call, and I'm able to deliver on their expectations very well because I put in a lot of hard work and I practice, which is the main thing. People still have this reputation around the ukulele that you can only play about 5 chords on it and then it's a bit silly. And so if you can prove that you can play well, not just by showing off and doing fancy technical stuff, but learning when it's appropriate to do that and when it's appropriate to actually sort of come down a little bit and play a bit more subtly, shows your diversity and your true musicianship. That is what's going to make you prove yourself as a ukulele player. Unfortunately, we've just got this prejudice that you have to overcome, and if you can work hard and fit in and create opportunities for yourself, then you will be able to do that. You'll be able to prove yourself as a serious musician. So those are my thoughts, feelings and recommendations to anyone who is looking at taking ukulele as a serious musical study. It's well worth the journey. There's still loads to explore, but also try and fit in and make sure that you can have as many opportunities as possible, because that's kind of what university is all about, meeting people and making opportunities for yourself. Going forwards, I really want to do a master's in Hawaii. Obviously the ukulele comes from Hawaii and I'd be mad not to at least do a year of study, my master's degree perhaps in Hawaii. There's so much ukulele culture and so much more acceptance of the instrument as well. I won't have this constant battle of having to prove myself. I'll already be in a place where the ukulele is a sort of national instrument, and that will make things a lot easier and I'll be a lot more engaged, even more than I am so already, because of the environment I'll be in. If you're going through this process, considering going to university or any other sort of further education, and you're a first study ukulele player, do get in touch. I'd love to meet you and be able to talk about and share our experiences. Thank you very much for watching. I hope at least some of you have found this interesting and useful. If you have any further questions or would like to know more, then please do leave them in the comments section, or you can contact me via my website. Thank you very much. Take care. Bye.